In this video, I'm going to cover the best and most used weapons for competitive PvP inside of Destiny 2. If you're looking to start playing some Trials, Iron Banner, or even competitive, these are some of the best weapons to use. I believe the majority of these weapons are still obtainable in the current season, but some require more grinding than others. I won't go into too much depth on how to obtain each weapon here, but more than likely I'll have a YouTube short dedicated to that weapon if you want more information. This list is based on the top 15 current most used weapons in PvP, but I will be giving my personal opinions of the weapons alongside some perk recommendations. With that all out the way, starting off at number 15, we have the Dead Man's Tail, a fantastic exotic scout rifle that dominates in the Crucible, while also being one of the most consistent super shutdown weapons in the game. Now, to optimize this weapon for PvP, I would recommend a couple of things. First off, make sure you have the catalyst. This allows for faster hipfire rate of fire and completely removes the hipfire accuracy penalty. The key here is knowing when to ADS and when to use hipfire, although a skilled DMT player can consistently kill at short to medium range without ever needing to ADS. Another thing to keep in mind is the Dead Man's Tail has transformative, meaning it can roll with different perks. By far the best PvP perk here is Vorpal Weapon, as it's amazing for shutting down supers, but otherwise Snapshot and Killing Wind are also great picks. My PvP god roll for this weapon would be Fluted Barrel, Ricochet Rounds, Vorpal Weapon and Composite Stock. Moving on, we have the Adept version of the Shiora's Wrath. This is a fantastic SMG that I love using in PvP. I will just say, don't sleep on submachine guns, these things are crazy at the moment. The reason I like this weapon so much is because it can roll with kill clip. We all know this perk is really good in PvP, but in combination with a good SMG, you can absolutely shred through enemies. It is worth mentioning this is an Adept weapon, meaning alongside the stats, you also have an Adept mod slot. So things like Adept Icarus Grip can be fantastic here. The Alacrity Origin trait is great too, especially in Trials and other elimination game modes. I might be wrong here, but I've heard this Origin trait does actually proc inside of Rumble matches too. My god roll here is going to be Hammer Forged Rifling, Accurized Rounds, Dynamic Sway Reduction and Kill Clip. At number 13, we have the Funnel Web. This weapon has been a staple of most Void 3.0 PvE builds, and its dominance does in fact carry over to PvP. I won't say too much about this weapon as you've probably already seen 10 videos on it, but in terms of PvP, I would recommend swapping Subsistence for Perpetual Motion or Killing Wind, then maybe changing out Frenzy for something like Rangefinder. Overall, you can't go wrong with a good SMG, and clearly the Funnel Web is no exception. The 7th Seraph CQC is the 12th most used PvP weapon, and for good reason. This solar shotgun pairs great with exotic primaries and works wonders in PvP loadouts due to its ridiculous perk pool. You can build this weapon however you like, as I wouldn't say there's one definitive god roll. I really do wish this thing was craftable, as it has so many great perk combos. First off, Full Choke is a fantastic pick for people who like to aim down sights, otherwise Corkscrew is your best friend. Surprisingly, in column 2 we also have some choice too. Assault Mag is my favourite as it increases rate of fire, but if you want more range then Accurized Rounds is the way to go. In terms of main perks, a Quick Draw Snapshot roll is absolutely lethal, but keep in mind we have Slide Shot and also Vorpal Weapon here. This is a great all-round shotgun that will fit into most loadouts, so definitely pick this thing up. Next up we have the main ingredient. This fusion rifle is downright broken in PvP. If you were lucky enough to pick up the god roll version from Xur, you can skip this section as you probably already know how good this thing is. Otherwise, the PvP roll you should be hunting is Tap the Trigger and Under Pressure. This combination completely passively buffs the weapon in PvP. Under Pressure will increase accuracy and stability as the magazine gets lower, and Tap the Trigger will increase accuracy and stability on initial trigger pull. As you can imagine, this is crazy in the Crucible. I don't really have much else to say about this weapon, just give it a try. At number 10, we have Le Monarch. This is a crazy exotic that can be downright evil in PvP. The poison effect from the exotic perk can stagger health regeneration and create huge openings and opportunities in elimination game modes. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure this thing is getting a PvP nerf next season. Even so, there's not many weapons that play like this bow. Le Monarch can be combined with an Empowering Rift for some easy eliminations. But it's also worth mentioning this weapon does now have a catalyst which will grant it the Unrelenting perk alongside faster reload and more stability. Overall, a very fun PvP weapon with an interesting playstyle. We'll have to see if Le Monarch is still this high up next season. Next up, we have a weapon known as one of the best console PvP weapons in the game. Now, I'm not sure why so many console players gravitate gravitate towards this weapon, it may be something to do with the high aim assist. But the Crimson is a fantastic hand cannon. I do really like this weapon, it's just too easy to use. You've got full auto reload, health regeneration, which makes it a great pick for PvP. I will say make sure you have the catalyst too, as it grants the weapon even more range. This weapon can be great for trials as the health regeneration and auto reload allows for taking on multiple players in quick succession with very little downtime. Side note, I will be making a video on the Destiny 1 counterpart of this weapon soon. The Ace of Spades is the 8th most used PvP weapon, and it isn't much of a surprise. The Ace is a perfect workhorse PvP hand cannon. The combination of great stats and perks make this thing a beast in PvP. Again, I won't cover this weapon in too much detail, but if you're interested, check out my short on the weapon. One thing I will say is make sure you grab the catalyst for this weapon, as it boosts the Firefly damage while Memento Mori is active, which can be really strong for extra damage and multi-kills. Overall, a solid hand cannon that works in most loadouts. Next up, we have the Last Word. Again, this hand cannon is so much fun to use and pairs well with a sniper. This weapon does take slightly more skill to use, but once you've mastered this weapon, it's absolutely unstoppable. Bursting people down with fanfire never gets old, and it's completely unique to this weapon. Again, a great hand cannon that I would definitely recommend chasing. At number 6, we have the Wrist Walker. This Iron Banner shotgun is fantastic for PvP and currently one of the best shotguns in the game. Full choke and assault mag are again the best in class here and really help this weapon. In terms of column 3 perks, quick draw is great, but it's worth noting you could also choose slide shot or surplus here. In column 4, Iron Reach is fantastic and my favourite, but Vorpal weapon is great for super shutdowns. Overall, if you're playing Iron Banner, definitely chase this weapon, it's a really solid shotgun. Moving into the top 5, we're starting off with my personal favourite PvP exotic, the Chaperone. This thing is a beast in PvP and works well in so many loadouts. Personally, I love pairing the Chaperone with an energy hand cannon like the Palindrome, but it can work well with pretty much anything. The Chaperone can one-shot at crazy ranges, and once you have the Roadborne perk active, it becomes a mini sniper. Overall, a fantastic exotic that I can never put down, and I would highly recommend trying this thing out. At number 4, we have the IS Luna, a fantastic kinetic hand cannon. Typically, if I'm using this weapon, I'll pair it with something like Duality, but there is a lot of other specials that you could use here. This hand cannon is so strong due to its perk pool and great base stats. Moving into perk recommendations, for column 1, Fast Draw, True Sight and Steady Hand are the best here. In column 2, we've got no surprises here, choose ricochet rounds or high caliber rounds. Then we have a lot of choice for column 3, Rangefinder and Rapid Hit are solid, but there's also Perpetual Motion too. Finally, in column 4, we've got Kill Clip, Moving Target and even Headstone here. Overall, this is a great base hand cannon that you just can't really go wrong with. At number 3, this one might surprise you, as the 3rd most used weapon inside of PvP is the Gala Horn. Essentially, if you're not running an exotic in your loadout, Gala Horn is the way to go. This weapon pretty much guarantees a free kill whenever you manage to get heavy ammo. Again, make sure you get the catalyst, but I do understand both IS Luna and Gala Horn are part of the anniversary pack. And I know some people don't have this pack, so an alternative for Gala Horn would be something like Wardcliffe Coil. Overall, you can't go wrong with this classic rocket launcher. In second place, we have the Adept version of the Palindrome. This Void hand cannon is perfect for pairing with something like Chaperone and works wonders in the Crucible. If you have the time and or patience to farm this weapon, then definitely chase it. My PvP god roll here is Hammer Forged Rifling, Ricochet Rounds, Quick Draw and Rangefinder. Although Rampage can work quite well too. The base Palindrome is great, but the Adept version just has that edge and it's just so fantastic for high level PvP. If you are looking for a new energy PvP hand cannon, then the Palindrome is the way to go. At number 1, we have a new weapon introduced in this season, the Peace of Mind Pulse Rifle. This rapid fire frame kinetic pulse rifle is ridiculous in PvP. What I love about this weapon is that it's craftable, meaning you can guarantee a god roll on the weapon and you can also apply mementos. My PvP god roll for this weapon is Arrowhead Break, Ricochet Rounds, Perpetual Motion and then Vorpal Weapon. Although in column 4 we do have slightly more choice, you could choose Focused Fury or even Moving Target. In terms of mods on this weapon, definitely try out the new full auto retrofit, otherwise counterbalance is pretty good on this weapon. So if you do get a deep sight version of this weapon, definitely don't dismantle it and try and unlock the recipe. Overall, a fantastic pulse rifle that you just need to try out in PvP. So I'm interested, do you use any weapons on this list, and did any of the weapons actually surprise you? With that being said, let me know what you think to this longer form content. Thank you so much for watching, thank you for all the support, and goodbye.